Though campus is several hundred miles away, some University of Idaho students are getting an education in this part of the state at the Agricultural Extension in Aberdeen. And that's not the only extension office in this region. In part two of our sit-down interview, Logan McDougall talks with Interim President and Pocatello native Don Burnett about the importance of these facilities and their future.
What does the future really hold for research out in Aberdeen?
Well, overall, the university does about $100 million a year in research, and a substantial amount of that is in agriculture, and a substantial amount of that, potatoes and other commodity group interests, are in Aberdeen. Also up in Teutonia, we have an ag extension office here in Bannock County as well as in the other counties. I think the future is bright. Biofuels is very much on the federal agenda and on other grantors' agendas. And one of the unique things about the University of Idaho, not only at the extension stations but around the state, is that we try to involve students, undergraduates as well as graduates, in our research effort, and that's another thing that is a draw of the University of Idaho for prospective students.
All right. Shifting gears now to costs. Tuition has been on the rise nationally. Congress recently wasn't able to get a deal done on student loan interest rates. What things are being done to keep tuition and costs low for students at University of Idaho?
Well, you're right. Cost is an issue. It costs about $3,100 per semester, $6,200 per year currently, to go to the University of Idaho as an undergraduate. And it's about the same in the other Idaho public institutions. That's a bargain in terms of national and regional comparisons, but it's still a burden as well. And so we're trying very hard through reallocation of programs and by making financial aid available to students. We do several tens of millions of dollars in financial aid, including grant aid that does not have to be paid back. One of the reasons we're so concerned about the cost of education, at the undergraduate level especially, is that a recent study has shown that 2/3 of the jobs that will be available in Idaho, as well as nationally, will require some post-secondary education, but only a little over 1/3 of Idahoans have post-secondary education of some sort. So there's a big gap that we need to fill, and cost is one of the impediments to filling it. So we're trying very hard to keep the University of Idaho, and I'm also the chair of the Council of Presidents this year. I know the other universities, including Idaho State, are working the same way to try to keep the cost down. There's a kind of a teeter-totter effect between what we have to charge students to keep the programs going and what the legislature is able to provide for us. And we realize what their constraints are too. But when public help to higher education goes up, the pressure to increase student fees goes down.
All right. Well, thank you very much for stopping by, and we'll send it back over to Todd.